Well, first I'll explain the outfit a little bit. I haven't worn this since '07. The last protest that Code Pink did in Albuquerque was '07, or Actions as we called them. And that was a culminating action. Code Pink is an international women's group, Women for Peace. And at the big 10,000 people rally in Portland, Oregon in '03, I saw Code Pink acting out, and I thought, okay, let's hope somebody starts that up in Albuquerque. I didn't want to be the leader, but I was willing to be second in command, or third, or fourth, and that worked really well. And we lasted about 2 years, and our efforts, we heckled the heck out of Heather Wilson with civil disobedience and a huge banner drop that matched the one that Medea Benjamin and Code Pink in Washington, D.C. had dropped down off the Senate building wall, and ours was a 60-foot banner, Fire the Liars, and that was fun. And then we got to run and deal with police officers, and we couldn't get arrested that day, though, because I had to pick my granddaughter up at 3 o'clock, and so we had to behave ourselves a little bit. But the good thing that came out of the Code Pink, and this is my poem about Code Pink, is that we have a 3.5-year lawsuit standing still in the federal courts against the Bush Secret Service guys who pushed all activists out of the way, cordoned us off, did not let us redress our grievances, did not let us protest and gather, and the case is standing. They've tried to quash it. They tried to buy us off. They only offered us $300 a piece. We said actually we would be quiet if they gave us at least $25,000 a piece. And that's a political statement, meaning it's at least that important. We don't expect any money, but the case is not dead yet. And that's why we're the outfit today, because it's poetry in motion, standing on a sidewalk also with the stuff written all over you. And a lot of people were supportive, a lot of people were hateful. It was interesting. The supportive, nice people outnumbered the ones that spit and called me treasonous bitch. And I also got to wear my underwear on the outside occasionally, which was a minor perk. This is brand new, written for today's occasion. It has 2 titles so far, called No Pressure or Retirement. I'm the 3rd time trying to retire from CNN. May I do my report on Sudan, he asked, deploying as peacekeeper soon. His face was movie star concern, straight-jawed, intent. His wife and baby there. His wife and baby here. He studied government and wars, got sent out, disappeared. Another one, the ninja with bullet hole eyes, wore the scarves of Palestine fluttering like prayers, several at a time, soft cotton on his neck above the uniform. He'd been a trainer, not going back, he said. He mentioned Bosnia, Desert Storm, Iraq, understood the horrid game. His story about careless killing of the farmers, randomness, he said. He could be court-martialed for what he wrote in my classroom. His vote could not be cast aloud. We talked quietly in the hall. I miss my soldiers, troops, Marines, who came home and did their education, knowing way too much already. Tough guys and fit who loved the poetry. That sweetie, bald-headed, blue-eyed, who went to Florida, Facebooked me last month, asking of the poem he wrote. His new girlfriend was, he said, into poetry. Could I find it? I told him write a new one about writing, that one maybe, all the senses, and he remembered, had an idea, and thanked me. I miss my soldiers, my troops, Marines. They don't complain about the sadness of the literature, the tiny hand grenade explosion of a poem, my lessons frosting on a just dessert, a piece of strange and bitter cake. It's their reward. It's why they went to war. And this one happened yesterday. Doesn't have a title. Ivan picked up quickly. I've already voted. He sounded energetic. And for the first time in my life, I'm 88 and have always voted. I voted straight Democratic ticket. He was dying to tell someone. I was glad he was on my list. I laughed and gave him approval. Works for me. Well, I'm fed up, you see, he said. It was an act of rebellion, he chortled. And I said, way to go, trying to remember if I had also, but I colored in all the ovals. Ivan and the risotto salad from the Artichoke Cafe made my day. His act of rebellion at 88. I couldn't ask if there'd been others, the volunteer coordinator right there hurrying us along. Mine, civic duty to phone bank the oldies about voting early. Have you rebelled today? Have you considered marching on Washington, flying, scooting, skating, holding up your voice and howling, growling with your fist up in an angry mob? Think the mall might turn into Tiananmen Square, co-hosted, ushered by Chinese mercenaries? Exactly when does ownership turn into government, or vice versa? When do we raise our weapons and shoot us? Okay, I have two more short poems written in a little bit, must have been around May 09, from a photo in the New York Times. And this is about women who lose so much when we drop bombs on other countries. This one's called Open Doors. Wild honey runs in thick golden rivulets down to where the trees give shade, where last summer tablecloths flapped sails under tall jars kissed with wax, like grandmother's tree-lined lips. Today the trees flap crying, what Holocaust has fallen, what Holocaust on the ground, where tablecloths held jars of honey, where now Hushang's wife lies bleeding on 3 children's gathered limbs. The street runs thick with slivers of things, everyone's slipping down to the shade, where last summer tablecloths held jars of lemonade, where Danai and Omar played with Arat's baby goats, they too among the dead. This one's called Granai, Afghanistan, May 12, 2009. USA bombs village, kills 147 civilians, 0 Taliban. And it's about the picture. I looked again and again at her eyes, black burqa-framed face exposed, her hand receiving a packet of bills, accepting change for a husband and 2 children, crazed eyes. Her babies, for millions of seconds alive, her village of quiet nights, festive meals, her gaze now without smooth curves like satin to fall on. A 3rd cherub with curls in her arms in soft cotton dress, leather-soled shoes tied nicely like her brother's, her sister's shoes, now minced for landfill by our unbelievable overkill. Can one finger press a button to bomb the mother's babies in 1 second? In 1 second, faster than birth or conception?